Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? So I'm over here preparing for my next live show, which is going to happen in an hour and a half. I don't know when you guys are going to get this video, but the live is being prepared for an hour and a half. And I came across this story that everybody seems to be talking about on the Internet of Things. And so many people are looking at this from a perspective of somebody who's lying, who obviously did something bad and refuses to admit to it. But I'm looking at it as an example of a lack of accountability that exists in our culture and our society in these days and times. And I think it's really sad because we have an opportunity. The parents involved had an opportunity to do something special, to teach their child, or their children rather, a valuable lesson. And unfortunately, what we see happen so often in this society is exactly what played out here, which is another child not being taught how to own up to their mistakes, and the lack of lessons that they're going to learn at this level, that they're not learning at this level, will reverberate into their adulthood. And then we get these entitled adults who don't know how to actually survive in the wider world. Now, what am I talking about, guys? I'm talking about this track meet that occurred between high school students, where one high school student was hit in the back of the head with a baton. And I'm going to show you two stories very briefly. We're not going to be here long. I'm going to show you this track story very briefly, and then I'm going to show you what this young lady will become as an adult if she does not learn the lessons of accountability now at this moment. Now, let's get up to speed. Big shout out to Lovely T. Lovely T TV is one of my favorite shows when it comes to pop culture and celebrity news and gossip. Yes, I do listen to that stuff. I find it very entertaining. I don't like the demeaning stuff when people are like, denigrating celebrities and so deep in their personal life. But I love celebrity gossip, and I love Lovely T because she doesn't just talk about celebrity gossip. She talks about social issues, and she talks about the regular news as well, and she delivers it in a very clear, concise, and professional way. So big shout out to Lovely T. We're just going to use a little snippet of her video.
Y'all get ready? Yes.
First of all, very beautiful mother. So congratulations to you for having such a lovely smile, Lovely T. And I say that with nothing but the utmost of respect and admiration. Nothing creepy. Let's keep going.
Family, it's the Lovely T.
Happy Saturday. I know the weather is crazy right now across the country, so I want to make y'all some content to watch. We all write out the fellow track star, Kaylin Tucker, in the back of the head, and that went viral. So both girls were speaking to the media. Kaylin's parents spoke out with her, and so did Aaliyah's parents as well.
Tonight, a Portsmouth family says they're telling their side of the story in reference to a shocking incident at a Virginia High School League indoor track meet that left one athlete allegedly injured after she claimed she was struck by a baton held by IC Norcom High School.
I mean, we're going to see multiple angles. You clearly see her pull her hand back and whack this girl in the back of the head because she's losing. And people are saying that this young lady was too close into her lane, but that's just not true. That's not even true. People are conceding that this is the victim here on the right with what looks like a yellow shirt and black pants. And this in an all dark figure right here is the perpetrator. And some people are saying that this young lady was too close into her lane, but that's just not true. Look how close she is to the outer portion of her lane, and this young lady's just running in the middle of her lane. But anyway, that's my observation, but I don't see any fault at all with the victim, but that's not why we're here. 1,000 other channels have already evaluated whether this was actually intentional and whether it was a crime. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the ramifications of when you don't teach children how to hold themselves accountable for their mistakes or for their misdeeds.
School senior Alaila Everett. Everett spoke exclusively to 10 on Your Side's Marquisha.
She didn't go in this girl's lane until she got whacked in the head and she needed to run off the field and pass out. That's the only time she went in the perpetrator's lane. But let's keep going.
Jackson, who brings us much more.
The young athlete in question says there's more to that video than meets the eye.
Everybody has feelings. So you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right?
Alaila Everett is a decorated athlete.
Already you could tell that her parents have failed her because she's more concerned with her mental health than the physical health of this young girl. even though the reason why she's experiencing mental anguish is because she did not come out right away and say, I don't know what came over me, but I did it and I apologize and I'm so sorry and it will never happen again. And I've learned a valuable lesson. Mind you, she's already been punished. Whether she wants to admit it or not, her team was disqualified. She was disqualified. There might be some more discipline down the road. Maybe that's in the back of her head. That's why she's not admitting to it. But they already lost that race. It was nothing for her to say, I don't know what came over me, but what I did was wrong and I'm sorry. And I'm willing to pay whatever price I need to pay for this. But anyway, let's keep going.
And senior at IC Norcom High School. She would have never thought her trip to the Class 3 track and field state finals last Tuesday would take a drastic turn.
They're going off of one angle.
Alaila visibly emotional because of this video from the meet. This was a 4x200 meter relay race, and she and a Brookville High School athlete were rounding a curve on the track when they nearly collided with each other.
After a couple times hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this, and it rolled up her back. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit.
It appears intentional, but Alaila says it was accidental.
But I know my intentions, and I would never hit somebody on purpose. I didn't have to see your first video, second video, 10th video. I know 100% that she won't do this to nobody.
And these parents should be ashamed of themselves. And I'm especially upset with this father because sometimes, and it's no disrespect, we have to be the voice of reason. Because, you know, listen, it's my belief that when you put us together, men and women, we make the most successful coupling that Mother Nature has ever seen. We like come together and we form Voltron when we have those two different types of opinion. But there's certain things we excel at and there's some things that we don't excel at. And that's why when you're in a partnership, you know, when somebody should take a lead, when your wife should take a lead, and when the husband should take the lead or whatever. When it comes to a mother seeing their child in distress, oftentimes mothers, their first, not all mothers, but some mothers, their first inclination is to circle the wagon and try and protect that child. Most of the time in those situations, us men, we still have our logical head on. We're still going to be the voice of reason if we see that our child has done something wrong. At least I see this in my household. So I'm not trying to say all women do this because I'm not with every woman, but I've seen this with my household and with my friends and my family where it's like, you know what, my daughter may be wrong, but I got to protect her because she's hurt right now. That's what the mother's saying. And as a father and as the male figures, we have to say, well, you know what, she is hurt and we do care about her feelings or his feelings, but we have to acknowledge that they did something wrong, so they need to hold themselves accountable for it so that we can get through this with honor and dignity. This father's not doing that. This father is playing into the same script that the mother's playing in, which is to try and pretend that the daughter is a victim rather than a perpetrator, and ignoring the fact that she gave another girl a concussion, and 2, a possible fractured skull. They never, the parents of the other family said that, but we haven't gotten any information that confirms that she had a fractured skull, but she did. It is confirmed that she had a concussion. This father should be ashamed of himself because he should be the one protecting his daughter from all of this backlash by putting an end to it. If he just put an end to it by saying, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, it will never happen again, this would be a non-issue. This would be a non-news story. It's the continued lies of this household that is making it a national news story, which will scar this little girl for the rest of her life. People will be talking about her for the rest of her life. And right now, she's at a pivotal point in her life right now where she's ready to go to college. This is going to hurt her going to college. Her actions already hurt her if she wants to go on a scholarship for track. But this will hurt her morally, where schools are not even going to want to accept her based off of her grades, because I'm pretty sure she's a smart little girl. They're not even going to want to take her based off of her grades because they say, well, you have bad moral character. You couldn't even admit that you hit this girl purposefully. But let's keep going.
Her parents outraged at the backlash. The IC Norcom relay team was disqualified, a ruling that a local USA track and field official finds questionable. He says a play-by-play look shows that the Brookville athlete was running closely to Alaila.
If a person comes up on the outside, they got to be a full stride ahead of me before they can cut in front
of me. Look at this idiot right here. He is such an idiot. But I guess I got to tell you guys, like, the towns are now battling. So the people who are representing are in the town of, in the school district of the perpetrator, they're on her side. And then the people who Or in the other school district of the victim, they're on the victim side. So people are not even dealing with logic now. It's turning into a battle of whose side are you on and whatever. It's just stupid. He should be ashamed of himself as well.
The other family spoke with the news station in Roanoke asking for an apology from Alaila, something she wants to give, but she says the other athlete hasn't been receptive, blocking her on social media, and instead the Everett family was served with court papers.
And now we have to go to a city 3 hours away that everybody hates our guts already.
They're assuming my character, calling me ghetto, racist slurs, death threats, all of this just because of a 9-second video.
VHSL says they are still reviewing the situation, and Portsmouth Public Schools says they will support whatever ruling comes from the league. Markeisha Jackson, 10 on your side.
Now to the high school runner who was hit by a baton during a race. Now her opponent is saying it was all an accident. Ike Ajachi is here with that story for us. Good morning, Ike.
Hey, good morning, Robin. Alaila Everett found herself in the spotlight when footage of her smacking a fellow runner in the head with the baton went viral. Now, since the incident, her family says she's been receiving death threats. And now she's saying the entire ordeal was an accident.
Yeah, I mean, nobody should be sending death threats to a child. Like, people are just sick on the internet. Like, some of you folks are just out of this world sick. And you should be ashamed of yourselves. Sending death threats to a teenager? Come on, man.
Believes she has the video to prove it. This morning, Alaila Everett, the track star at the center of that viral video showing her appearing to hit another runner in the head with the baton, is speaking out.
I would never do that on purpose. That's not in my character.
Everett says
this is the guy who is official that the first news story made it seem like he's some unbiased person. Now look at him in her little makeshift press conference standing right next to the family. So he's not an unbiased official. He's over here on her side. Let's keep going.
The incident is a complete misunderstanding, pointing to...
And this little girl probably was going to win the race because she's known for doing this. The one in yellow. She's known, and not when I say doing this, I mean her strategy. Like, she will, like, keep back a little bit. This from her family talking. I don't know her. This from her family talking. And then she puts the burners on. So you saw she started putting the burners on. She's passing this girl. This girl's pissed. Like, oh, my God, I'm about to lose the race. I won't even be in second place anymore. And that might be a big deal because maybe scholarships are on the line. If she's in first place, she's a winner. If she's a state champion, she obviously can get whatever scholarship she wants. She's second place. There's a lot of schools who's going to take the second place person because they know we could train her and maybe she could be a first placer. You know, third, fourth place, that's a different story. So she put the burners on and she's passing this girl. And it looks like she had that second win that she might have been able to pass the first place girl as well. And look what she did. She bashed her in the head and took out the race.
To another angle of the race is proof.
The baton was literally, like, her arm was literally
Look at this.
hitting the baton like this until she got a little ahead and my arm got stuck like this.
In the video, Everett is seen on the inside track running the 4x200 relay at the Virginia State High School League Championships when junior Kaylin Tucker came around the outside on the corner.
That's when she hit me with the baton. I just felt a bang on my head and then I fell off the track immediately.
Kaylin dropping her baton
One
and
thing I like to see is that these are intact families, and I love this, man. I love this. All right, so we crossed that first hurdle. We have intact families. We have both mothers and fathers with their children in these news stories, and that's beautiful, man. You guys don't know how much that warms my heart to see that. But we still got to do the right thing. You know, if we're together raising these children as a family, but we still have to do the right thing and teach these kids about accountability and honor and integrity and dignity, you know. You got to go the full way, but let's keep going.
reaching for her head. She was later diagnosed with a concussion.
Well, then another angle came out. This was 2 days ago. Another angle came out, and that angle is what led prosecutors to file criminal charges on Aaliyah. So I'm going to go ahead and play you guys the video of the new angle right here.
Damn, you see that? What's she talking about? Hand getting caught up and all that. That baton was free the whole time until she decided to lift it up over her head and smash this little girl in the back of the head.
All right, so you guys just saw that new angle. And to me, like I said in my live stream, she is very guilty of hitting that girl.
Yep.
You know, I think what it was, she was upset because...
I agree. Lovely Season said she's going to set that she was losing. I want to show you guys something else, though. Because like I said, we're not just here for this topic that's been covered ad nauseum by a ton of different YouTubers. There's a larger lesson to learn here. So this guy right here, this guy killed his whole family. His mother, his father, his brother, his brother's pregnant, 8-month pregnant girlfriend, who's 19. His brother was 18, and he had a 19-year-old, 8-month pregnant girlfriend, and he tried to kill his 15-year-old brother. He shot the 15-year-old brother twice in the back. 15-year-old brother was able to escape and run away from the house and was able to call 911. 15-year-old brother witnessed all of his family getting murdered and killed. He witnessed his own biological brother by 2 parents, like this full-blooded brother, attempt to kill him, right? And the reason why I tell you all that stuff is I want to show you what that little girl will grow up to be if she's not taught accountability. So let's get you a little preamble of what this is all about. This is the murder here. He got like 360 years in prison. He's never coming out. But listen to this.
I'm not no killer. I'm not no murderer. I'm not no bad person. And a lot of people, honestly...
Tonight, Raymond Childs III is maintaining his innocence.
But still, he is going to prison for 360 years for murdering 6 of his family members. These are deadly shootings that happened more than 4 years ago inside the family home that's located here in Indianapolis out on the east side.
Rich Nye takes us into the courtroom to hear from the families destroyed by this mass murder.
Raymond Childs III was just 17 years old in January 2021 when 6 people were shot and killed inside this home on Adams Street. A jury convicted Childs in October of murdering his parents, his 13-year-old sister, his 18-year-old brother.
So he decimated the whole family. Raymond Jr., the dad is 42. Kezzie Childs, mother, 42. Rita Childs, 13-year-old sister. Elijah Childs, the 18-year-old brother. Kiara Hawkins, the 19-year-old woman who was pregnant with Elijah Childs, a baby, and she's 8 months pregnant. She wasn't 8 months, she was unborn baby. And the last name of the baby is Hawkins, unborn baby. They couldn't give it the child's last name because it wasn't proven, he didn't sign a birth certificate to say that he was the father of the child. And since they weren't married, the child does not automatically get his last name. But we know that that was his baby, pretty much. So he just decimated this whole family. Then he tried to kill the 15-year-old, but the 15-year-old, by the grace of the Lord Jesus, was able to get away. But let's keep going.
And his brother's 19-year-old, almost full-term pregnant girlfriend. A 15-year-old brother who ran out of the house was shot twice, but survived.
I cannot comprehend the darkness in your heart at that time that led you to commit such an unfortunate act on January 24th. What I do know is that our lives changed forever on this date, and you robbed us of everything we had.
Childs told the families in a packed courtroom that he is not the killer.
Just as I sit here 4 years ago, I'm innocent. It's not a day that goes by where I don't think about them or wish that they was here.
All right, for him to be innocent, that means that he's saying that his 15-year-old brother, who was testifying that he shot everybody up, killed everybody, and shot him in the back twice, is a liar. That's what Raymond Childs is saying, right? All the evidence tied back to him, murder weapon, fingerprints, DNA, the whole 9, motive, all of that stuff. I think I remember the story from a while back. His parents was having a problem with him. He was doing stupid stuff or whatever, and they, they're coming down on him like, yo, you need to come home, da-da-da-da. He's spending the night out, doing all kinds of stuff he needed not do. He went to some girlfriend house. If it's the same case, I think I remember this case. It's a while back. But his parents were basically being parents. And because they were being parents, he slaughtered the whole family. But he's telling us, don't believe my 15-year-old brother. My 15-year-old brother is a liar. I didn't do it.
Even on my bad days, I tell myself that they're still here.
The judge called the murders calculated, cunning, and cold-blooded, sending Childs to prison for the rest of his life.
So the 360-year prison sentence breaks down like this. 55 years for each of the 6 people murdered, including the unborn baby. And 30 years for the attempted murder of Raymond Childs' 15-year-old brother.
The evidence in this case could fairly be...
Now, pay attention to this track girl, the perpetrator and the track team. I want you guys to see what she will grow up to be unless there's an intervention. And part of that intervention is her being criminally charged. She's a juvenile. It's not going to affect her record for the rest of her life. When she turns 18, that record is going to disappear. She get any job she wants. She could be a police officer. She could be an FBI agent. She could be president of the United States. That record is going to be sealed. Unless she talks about it, nobody will be able to know that it ever happened. That's what happens when you have a juvenile record. It's sealed. Nobody will ever know that it happened. If she applies for college, she doesn't have to disclose that to college. If she goes to the military, she doesn't have to disclose that to the military. If she joins the FBI or her local police department, she doesn't have to disclose that to them. It's a secret now. But she needs to learn the lesson now. She needs to go through the process and be held accountable. Otherwise, she's going to turn into this young woman that's going to come up next.
Characterized as overwhelming. There was cell phone evidence. He was caught with the murder weapon. And most compellingly, his own brother identified him in open court. And it would have been nice if he had expressed some remorse about what happened.
Everything that he said, I believe. So I don't too much believe justice was served, but I do hope that they do find the real people that did it.
The justice, see that? She said everything that Raymond Childs said she believes. And she does not believe that justice was served, and she hopes that they will one day find the real killers, even though this man laid out to us, this prosecutor, all the evidence that was against Raymond Childs that resulted in them deciding that they got a guilty plea. Let's go ahead. I want to listen to it one more time. This is what happens when you lack accountability for children, when you don't teach them accountability. Listen to this again.
The evidence in this case could fairly be characterized as overwhelming. There was cell phone evidence. He was caught with the murder weapon.
Cell phone evidence. He was caught with the murder weapon.
And most compellingly, his own brother identified him.
The person who he tried to end identified him in open court.
And it would have been nice if he had expressed some remorse about what happened.
And he still showed no remorse. He didn't even give us who he thinks the killers might be. He just said, I didn't do it. Now, let's listen to the track star 15 years from now.
Everything that he said, I believe. So I don't too much believe justice was served, but I do hope that they do find the real people that did it.
The justice system, there you go. Yes, it's important for the victim of the track star girl to get an apology. Yes, it's terrible that, they turn it into a town beef. One town is mad, the other town is mad, whatever. That's nonsense.
But still, he is.
The true story we have here is a lack of accountability, ladies and gentlemen. That's the true story. And if we don't save this child and we don't hold this child accountable for her bad actions, she's going to turn out to be just like that lady in that courtroom. They're having rallies. The NAACP is supporting her. Hundreds of people showed up to a rally to support this young woman. She is being embraced for her lies. And when all of this blows over and all these people go home and go back to their lives, the only person that's going to be left to pick up these pieces is her. And she's going to be an adult that's ill-equipped to deal with the real world. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about her being able to live her best life and achieve her most and the apex of her potential. That's what I want. I want her to be a winner. Just because she did something wrong doesn't mean she's a bad person. Doesn't mean she's a bad athlete. Doesn't mean she's a bad student. Doesn't mean she's a bad human being. But part of learning to be an adult is to be held accountable for your actions, for owning up to it, and then learning to pick up those pieces and move forward. And I hope that somebody will teach her and these parents of hers, this man back here, her father and her mother who's not on screen, the same lesson of accountability, honor, and integrity. I see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.